Oh no. Oh, that's too much value. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. Today in the arena, yeah, they put this on Arena. Oh my god, Derevi Emperial Tactician is busted. This owl, this silly bird, what a hoot. God. So if you want a Brawl commander of the toxic nature, you know you're in the right place, because that's what my channel here does. But let's go over to Derevi Emperial Tactician. This is a Bant green, white, blue for a 2/3 flyer bird wizard. When this enters, or when a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may tap or untap target permanent. Those include lands. Those include the creatures themselves. Those include the opponent's stuff. It's great. One, a green, a white, and a blue. Put Derevi onto the battlefield from the command zone. Okay, so you're telling me I don't have to pay commander tax on this. I can, at 4 mana at instant speed, whenever, put this onto the battlefield and tap or untap target permanent? It makes combat a nightmare. It generates mana all on its own. This commander does everything but draw cards, so we'll just have to take care of that part ourselves. And Derevi is amazing in a number of ways. One of them, there are a lot of ways to build Derevi. There's a lot you can do in Brawl for Derevi. I think that one of the best ways to do it, and one of the most interesting, is a way that doesn't mind sacrificing Derevi. Because why would you? It goes back to the command zone, and then you can just bring it out at instant speed for 4 mana, tap down the opponent's stuff, and then go about your business. So this is what we're going to call a pod Derevi, where sacrificing Derevi to get value and then get other creatures out of your deck it's part of the goal. There's only a few cards that I think contribute to like the pod strategy. Those cards are Neoform and Eldritch Evolution, but tutors that help us get other creatures out of our deck. You do want more creatures with Derevi, because more creatures hitting the opponent means more untapped triggers. And you also want to be able to hit certain lands, or have lands that tap for multiple mana, like Lotus Field hanging out over here in the mana base. So there are effects that you want to do with Derevi to make Derevi even more powerful. Let's break it all down and see if I can do it in less than 24 minutes. In the zero costers, we have the Pact of Negation, Pact of Negation. I put this in so many decks, but in this deck, it's particularly great because if you have a board state, you untap some of the lands, and it didn't cost you as much as it seemed like it did after you hit it. Mox Amber is great because Derevi is cheap and ever present. Of course, Once Upon a Time, because you want to turn 1 mana dork. Flare of Denial, Flare of Cultivation, Flare of Fortitude. Derevi is all of these colors, and the flares let you sacrifice Derevi to get free effects like countering a spell, ramping 2 lands, or protecting yourself and getting another turn. And you know what? That's great. That's really good. That's really good with a commander you don't mind going back to the command zone, because you're just going to bring it out again. And of course, Subtlety and Solitude, 2 of the excellent Evoke Elementals here in the deck. Playing along with those Evoke Elementals as well as our commander is Ephemerate, which can instant speed flicker Derevi or many of our other enters the battlefield creatures, including the Evoke Elementals. Esper Sentinel, because it's great. Swords to Plowshares, because it's great. Spectral Sailor. One of the issues with Derevi is that Derevi, while producing much mana, much pressure, and infinite annoyance for your opponent, is that it does not draw cards. So cards that let you sink that mana into cards are valuable, and Sailor does that at a bad rate, but it does come on a body that can untap another land, making Sailor a good part of the deck. Spyglass Siren. Don't underestimate these little 1-drop creatures. Every one of these is also like a Llanowar Elves that still attacks. Because once you have your commander out, when they hit, you're untapping lands, or tapping the opponent's lands, or doing other obnoxious things. So a Spyglass Siren isn't just a Spyglass Siren. It's also a mana dork. eventually. Tamiyo, it doesn't actually hit the opponent very often unless you somehow equip it, but Tamiyo is very much a card advantage engine in these colors that I think you play in any deck that can slot her in with the green and blue color identity. And then you have the Tome of Gadwick. This is an equipment that I have in the deck. I used to have a bigger equip package in this deck, as those who watch the live stream know. If you want to watch my initial take on the deck and several things that we tried in the deck, why isn't card such and such in the deck? Well, maybe we tried it. Check out the live stream VODs. They're fun. I'm trying to make them more devoted to individual decks so that they play more like a YouTube video. So if you haven't checked my live stream VODs in a while and you like Brawl and decks like this, go check them. Tome of Gadwick gets you cards from the spell book every time you attack with the creature it's equipped to. And this gives us cards, because what do we need? Cards. What do we have? Mana to play these cards. So yeah, conjuring up cards like these, sweet little card draw spells, is fun and interesting and neat, because I'm blue. And that's what I like. Wash Away, yes. Avacyn's Pilgrim, Birds of Paradise, Delighted Halfling, Elvish Mystic, Kami of Bamboo Groves, Llanowar Elves, Utopia Sprawl, all get the nod for mana ramp to help us get to turn 2 Derevi, which is totally awesome. What does not get the nod? I decided no Gilded Goose, because it can't really attack and trigger Derevi, and untapping it isn't great because we don't always have food, and Arboreal Grazer, because I didn't want too many effects that require a second land to be good. Next, also doesn't attack and trigger Derevi. So then we go over to the 2-drops, and we've got Felia, who I've said in a previous video, I think can go in almost any white creature deck. It's just a really good card. Reprieve, Dazzling Denial is a counter spell that is pay for if you have a bird. Guess what? We has bird. Lofty Denial is pay for if you have a flyer. Guess what? We has flyer. Also Memory Lapse, Remand, Tail's End, Counterspell, and Mana Drain. Make sure that our opponents hear the word no plenty of times while we play this deck, and often deliver lethal mental damage on their own. Snapcaster Mage lets us do it again, but also works well as a body to hit the opponent with Derevi. Volatile Stormdrake, steal the opponent's stuff. Be careful with this. Yoinking the opponent's thing, you can't tap this because it has hexproof from triggered abilities. So if you give your opponent this, Derevi can't tap it. You may need to trade it with Derevi in order to start hitting again with Derevi. This is pretty acceptable because you don't mind your commander dying very much, but it is a notable downside. Volatile Stormdrake, though, still a really good card for stealing commanders and other important cheap creatures. Bloom Tender is busted with Derevi, because you can tap it for 3, and then Derevi can untap it, and you can tap it for 3 more. So it's a mana mega engine. A Scavenging Ooze is in here to search up, because against some decks you need to hit their graveyard. Neoform and Eldritch Evolution are the mentioned pod effects. These are what are going to let you get all your silver bullet creatures. There's a lot of creatures in the deck that are good in certain situations. Well, you fetch them using Neoform or Eldritch Evolution, sacrificing Derevi or a Mana Dork that you don't need anymore, some other creature, and that's how you end up with a card like Nadu Winged Wisdom on the battlefield a lot. More on Nadu in a minute. Arcane Signet can be in everything. Smuggler's Copter. People forget this card is in the format, but yes, it is a vehicle. It loots on attack. It turns your 1-mana nerd into a 3/3 Giga Chad Thopter. This card is amazing. Like, just run Smuggler's Copter if you're a creature deck. Try it. This card was banned in Standard very quickly for a reason. Tome of Legends is amazing with Derevi. It's a good card generally, but not a great card. Derevi turns it into a card draw machine because you can be attacking, triggering, putting counters on the tome, drawing a card with the land you untap with Derevi, or untap the tome itself to draw multiple cards. And Derevi is entering the battlefield over and over because it doesn't have a command tax. So when I say that you need cards advantage in the deck, Tome of Legends stands out. Winter Moon. Okay, I know what you're thinking. 3-color deck and you're gonna run Winter Moon? Here's the thing. Derevi no care. Derevi will untap the lands tapped by Winter Moon. Now don't think this is Winter Orb. You can't tap the Winter Moon and then untap all your lands, but you can untap those lands that did not untap using Derevi's ability. So we are not affected in the same way, making Winter Moon an amazing stacks piece against 3, 4, and 5-color decks, and even occasionally against 2-color decks. Brazen Borrower It's a great way to get back your volatile Storm Drake and just to have an evasive body that works well with Derevi and a quick solution for any kind of permanent, albeit a temporary one. But once you know what your opponent's trying to cast, sometimes Derevi tapping down their lands and their upkeep takes that away. Siphoner and Forceful Cultivator. When you play these for 2, they're some of the best cards in the game. One, I mean, they're alchemy cards, so keep that in mind. But one lets you get back an instant, like a counterspell or swords, and the other ramps you a land, and just for 2 mana. These are excellent. Recruiter of the Guard. Go get the right creature at the right time. Add to the pod experience. Enduring Innocence and Enduring Curiosity are both in the deck because sacrificing them... Oh, and Enduring Vitality. So all the Endurings out of Duskmourn are here, because you can sacrifice them to the pod effects and go get something better and get the enchantment version. And all of them are good in the deck. Enduring Vitality really unlocks the mana side, because now you can hit your opponent, untap your creatures, and they're also holding up mana at the same time. So everything getting vigilance and the ability to tap for mana is kind of nutso, and the opponent will not be able to overcome that very long. Enduring Innocence and Enduring Curiosity just turn on the card engine. Enduring Innocence is a slow, gradual drip on card advantage as you bring Derevi out over and over. Enduring Curiosity is a full-blown kaboom of card advantage when you start hitting with multiple creatures, and they do overwhelm the opponent. They are usually an important part of our mid to end game, fetching the Innocence. Apparition is removal. Split Up is a board wipe where we can definitely maneuver what is tapped and untapped using Derevi's ability, so it becomes an excellent one-sided board wipe for 3 mana. Kitesail Larcenist is more removal in creature form that you can fetch. Nimble Obstructionist is a bird, so it can fly and attack and untap things, but also can cycle to counter abilities. Tidebinder, you know this one, shuts down commanders of all kinds, one of the better cards in the format. Harbinger of the Seas. Non-basic lands are islands. Sometimes you fetch this to shut down your opponent's mana base using creature fetches, and it acts in a similar way to Winter Moon. Just a stone cold killer. Check out the video. You'll see. Eldritch Evolution, and okay, when in doubt, the best way to get card advantage in the deck, Nadu Winged Wisdom. You can pot it up by sacking a 2-drop to Neoform or a 1-drop to Eldritch Evolution. Get Nadu out, target it with Derevi's abilities. This is a great way to get your 2 triggers a turn, and it just absolutely takes over the game. So when I call it flipping them the double bird, I'm talking about Derevi and Nadu, a dream team still working together here in Brawl. And then we move up into the 4s where we have an interesting one, Talion's Throne Guard. When you bargain this, you bounce a spell or permanent, so you can hit something on the stack or on the battlefield and return it to owner's hand. And if it's bargained, that spell perpetually costs 2 more. This is a great effect to just deal with a random spell or permanent that is going on. You never know what's or where the opponent's win attempt will come from, but Talion's Throne Guard can answer all of it, and since it doesn't counter it, it can even hit those uncounterable things. And Tameo Field Researcher, what an excellent card advantage engine this is when you've got Derevi going. The plus leading to 2 card draws as you hit your opponent and untap permanents. Nasty. The One Ring. Yeah. Let's untap the One Ring with Derevi's ability. If you hold priority, you can untap it, activate it, untap it, activate it, untap it, activate it. The alchemy nerf of the One Ring is brutal here, as you have to pay 1 mana to do it, and in Commander or Modern before it was banned, you would not have to pay that 1 mana. Thanks, Alchemy, for nerfing. The One Ring is nothing sacred, but it's still very good and definitely makes it in the deck. Whir of Invention and Court of Calling are tutors. We have a lot of creatures and artifacts that solve specific jobs, so we can use these to tutor up what we need. Go get Tome of Legends or One Ring if you need card draw. Go get Smuggler's Copter if you need another thing. Go get Winter Moon to shut opponents down. Go get any of the creatures such as Nadu. Go get the Talion's Throne Guard at instant speed. Go get the Tidebinder Mage at instant speed. All right, Court of Calling and Whir of Invention are the tutors you want. And if you hold priority in combat, you can sink mana into these to get bigger things. In the mana base, we've got our channel lands that function as spells. We have Lotus Field, which is a great one to tap and untap, and we have Analyze the Pollen and Traverse the Uvenwald because they turn into creature tutors in the late game but fetch basics early on. In the flip lands, we have Sink into Stupor and Witch Enchanter, because those are really the best ones. The other ones could be here, but we opt for more basics to go with our Winter Moon strategy. And then we have Lorien Revealed, Eagles of the North, and Generous Ent to land cycle for our Shock and Surveil lands, which we have all 3 of each of those. Then we have all the fetch lands that fit into the deck. Don't forget to set yourself up for basic success if you have Winter Moon in hand, or if you have a way to tutor your Harbinger of the Seas and your opponent looks like they're going to be vulnerable to those strategies. And to add to the basic power of the deck, Fable Passage and Prismatic Vista make the cut in this deck to make sure we have more basics more of the time. This is Derevi. If you're still watching this intro, thank you, and check out the sponsors of the video, CoolStuffInc.com, promo code CGB5, Innistrad Remastered coming out soon. Pre-order. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. More Derevi. Such a different build from the stream. And Tasha, Holy Archmage, a witch versus a bard. We've got the card advantage. We've got the memory lapse. We're on the play. We can't play Elf on turn 1, but we can Eagles into Elf on turn 2. That should be fast enough to still catch a Tasha, unless they have exactly dark freaking ritual. Should be fine. But some of the basics in the mana base are rearing an ugly head. There is a cost to running a basics themed deck. Let's play around Stifle. A slight improvement could have been to play an island instead of a plane so that I could have the memory lapse and play a tap land next turn if I wanted to. All right, Ramp into Tasha is online. If you haven't seen Tasha, it's a proliferate deck mostly. You try to ultimate Tasha as quickly as possible because the ultimate's very quick to reach. And then the ultimate steals a bunch of creatures from your graveyard. Ready for a turn? Do we play the bird, hold up the lapse? Yeah. And because of the way that Derevi works, this works. Let's see if they go for their commander. Looks like the answer is no, not really. Or they're just trying to suss out priority. Sailor. Good little card advantage machine. They don't remove it. Ooh, Lotus Field. Oh. Okay. Is this gonna... They have 3 non-basics already. This might be a Winter Moon game. I should probably keep the basic island. Dude. This is so good. Tome of Legends? They go to Grasp on Derevi. Is that fine? Can bring Derevi out again next turn. I think this is fine. Them struggling to kill our commander is always good for us. Of course, they're looking at this board like, oh, 2/1/1, so Tasha's good, right? Are they going to counter the tome too? Do we want to let them have our card advantage machine and then slam Tasha and plus it? Nope. Can't do that. All right, their hand is good. Some control staple all-stars of the format. And do they keep holding up things? Or do they pass? crack a fetch. Beseech a mirror. Okay, that's probably to get a counter for a counter or something. They did not bargain their Cold Steel Heart, so whatever they're getting, it's just gonna go in their hand. Might be a Tidebinder Mage. I hate to play this Odawara. I think we'll need it. Island Cycle. I doubt that's what they tutored for. We could get the Derevi out now. 1, 2, 3. We have to tap everything, then we untap Lotus Field. I guess we want to do it and also counter a spell at the same time. Do it in a stack war, right? That's when we want to do it. Okay, still only one basic over there. This could be a Winter Moon game if we find the Moon or the Whir of Invention. Another ramp piece. And then they're still not going for it? Does feel like a trap, doesn't it? Like they want me to do this? I feel like they went and got a Tidebinder Mage. We have a counter. I guess if they counter the ability to bring Derevi out, it doesn't work. They have to let it land. The ability targets. They counter the ability. We counter the counter. They play another thing. The other option, and I think I'm going to do it. I'm just going to draw. They're getting ahead on mana. We're already doing well on mana. I'm just going to draw cards. Like, that's fine. And I'm just going to keep holding up the same situation. And if they hold up mana, I'll draw and get further ahead. And if they cast something, we'll get in a stack war. Here we go. Stack war begins. Bring out Derevi. See if this works. Okay. Mana is slightly off, but let's go like this. Start with a little memory lapse. Are you ready for a stack war? There's Bind to Secrecy. Sure. Let's resolve that. If something else gets in the graveyard and it gets to 5 out of 5, they get more value. Counterspell. Resolves. What did they fetch? I don't think any of that is what they fetched. Ah, okay. They look like they're delving. So that's like Treasure Cruise or Dig Through time. Fetching Treasure Cruise is rarely bad, but in this case, not too shabby considering the amount of mana we have access to. Oh, we drew it! Oh no! But first, put some stops down, show you some fun tricks. So 3 triggers, target the Lotus Field, target the Lotus Field, and just to be sure, I'm going to target this Mana Confluence. And I'm going to tap this for blue, resolve, tap the Confluence, untap the Lotus Field, tap it for blue, resolve, and now I've got all that blue in the mana pool I have to spend before the next main, so let's draw some cards. Let's draw some cards. Oh, I'm so good at Magic. We even found another land. It is a non-basic. LOL. But we have tips and tricks and ways out of this that our opponent doesn't have. Untap one of your non-basics. They did pick up another island along the way. That's something. But we constrain them a bit here. What are they going to do? Play that Tasha? They do play that Tasha. They could get an Eagles of the North. I don't think that's very important. They're going to plus it. Sure. -1/-1 counter to every creature that attacks is a big deal. All right. I untap Lotus Field. Ew, wash away. Okay. How much is down there? Just one. Tap this for green. Like, I might want to throw my other creatures into the bin to eat for the ooze so we kill this, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could take Tasha off the board. And it is sad, but I think that is what needs to be. Do I have enough green? Yep, just enough. Just barely enough. Oh wait, the opponent's at 8? I'm still getting... I'm gonna kill Tasha. I'm gonna kill Tasha. Yep. The mighty scavenging ooze strikes in 2025.
Oh, I'm not even a little upset.
Now let's see if the opponent can wiggle out. They actually have more basics than I do. A lot more basics than I do. Oracle? Sure. Don't think that's that bad. I'm gonna target the Skoos. I will flare. Yo, all of it. They have all the answers. I just got. Unbelievable. That's a Derevi. Dude, calm down. My God. The nuts. Apparently not the nuts. Okay. They say I'm not going to drop the Oracle. So let's do this. Untap. My turn. Untap you as well. And now what? They just block. I could blow it up. I don't know if there's going to be anything better to blow up. But I think they're close to recasting Tasha, and I think Subtlety will fix most of this. But God, I'm being outmaned. How do I get rid of my own moon? Yeah, Urborg, Swamps in the house. Here's Tasha. We should hit it with the Wash Away this time. Wash Away will cost more if Tasha comes off the top. Bro! And Xaxes mana?
I need your name and birth. Keep your distance, mortals.
Unbelievable. Okay. Surely there's something in here that Recruiter gets. Surely there's something. They're empty-handed. There's got to be something. Yeah, that'll do. And then what? They just cast it again, right? And again and again. That's better. That is better. The shutdown. So now they know. My God, did this game take a turn for the worst? Okay, they're at 8 life. It's fine. What are they going to do with that, really? They're just not going to activate their Tasha here? Okay. Some land. Attack here, they block here, this hits, this untaps something. Nuke the Oracle. I mean, this is kind of a dead card most of the time anyway.
Paws off, Nat.
Are we gonna sneak this out? Drawing cards, going to 6. Okay, that's really dangerous. Okay, that's just a ruby. Nice power 9 in your deck, buddy. Good game. Scoops. Are they dead? They're at 6. Yeah, we play subtlety. They could have plus the Tasha, but they're too afraid to. Yeah, I think what they have to do there is, well, if they plus the Tasha and I play the Tidebinder, counter the ability, and then they lose 1 on their upkeep. Yep, that's game. Wow, what a match. Joda, the Unifier. Utopia Sprawl, no forest, classic. But Winter Moon against a 5-color deck and Nadu keep. This is saucy. Yep. I'll play this basic if you don't mind. Oh, okay. All right, they got a Birdo. An untapped land. Do I just get this down and force them to start playing around it now? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, 3 non-basics. What you gonna do there, buddy? Mostly a dead hand, which is kind of funny. None of this is castable because I drew 2 planes. They play a little Kinnan. Good card. If only your bird tapped for more mana. Alrighty. They don't want to block with Kinnan. Heck no, they don't. Forget Utopia Sprawl. Still no spell in the graveyard though, is there? We'll just drop this Nadu. Plaza. Careful how you tap. Winter freaking moon, baby. That's a Skrelv. Anybody else want to play? No? Pact of Negation. They don't have any blue mana open. Hi. Oh, baby. Oh, no. Oh, that's too much value. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Told ya. Yikes. Why don't my lands on top? I have Winter Moon. Light Paws. Light Paws doesn't care about Winter Moon. Oh god, removal, removal, removal. We got an app. Harbinger. Harbinger doesn't do anything here. God, I have turn 1 Tameo. Am I really gonna mull this? I do have the apparition. It's a great start. It's a great start. The Harbinger isn't good, but everything else is good. Okay, 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 okay. Keep. Hear me, oh.
Perhaps there are more useful texts down on the surface.
Sentinel. Yeah. The Lotus Field looks nice, but not with the Harbinger. Yeah, this is where Harbinger looks real bad. Go for a Paladin class. Okay. Spectral Sailor. Get that out of here. Sorry, I'm allergic to Esper Sentinels. Lotus Field, but you can see how hard it is to cast Derevi with a Lotus Field. Aura spells cost 1 less. Heroic. Hold for ransom. What's that mean? 7 mana. Hold for ransoms. Controller sacrifice it. It's and draws a card. What? Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Okay. Powerful, powerful magic being played right here today. Play you. Draw a card. Clearly they're taking a different approach with their deck. We could have Ephemerate here. Is that important? I think we need to get the maze down. Boseiju. It's good against auras. But yeah, Derevi has to come out and play here at some point. Let's see what protection they have for Light Paws. Oh, they just get good old Shelter by Ghosts. Taking the Tameo. What a boss. Okay. Well, let's see what else they've got, I guess. Well, they didn't have something else. So we got their Shelter by Ghosts. And we have an Ephemerate. Oh,
Higher library.
Nothing like a good time at the library. Light Paws is back. You have an aura as well. The rune. Sustenance. Yikers. All right. No Shelter by Ghost. What do you get? You have another aura that's also a removal spell. Nope, just some card draw. I mean, yeah, gas up the jet. We'll take a beating here for a minute. Chord of Calling. What can we get? Oh, we can get a lot. 6 potential mana. 3 for Nadu. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. How free is Derevi here? Untap. Hold on. And then we still want to have 1 mana left for Ephemerate. So if we go like this. And then we go like this. I'm winging it at this point. Haha, I get it. Winging bird. I'm just believing is what this is. One, there, 2 left. We need 1 white left in the mana pool. Nadookin! Oh, I could have tapped the Skyclave Apparition because I'm not going to be attacking with it. Exile Light Paws. Yeah! It's farmed! Destroyed. Oh, it's beautiful. That was one of the more awkward games, but my goodness, did it come together. Pilgrim on the draw. Malcolm the Eyes. Red, blue. Super cheap, super instanty. It gets paired into a pretty high queue because it's usually a lot of counterspells and instants. And turn 1 Delver of Secrets. Luckily for me, no Delver has ever flipped on my watch. Not once. It's impossible. I wouldn't allow such a thing to happen. Ever. We should be careful with our life total, by the way. Yes! Yes! Farmed. Yeah, take 3. My Pilgrim was strangled. Tragedy. I don't think I want another green. It's too much green. Don't think I can really afford to sit back and hold up Memory Lapse either. Nope. No way. No! Oh god, wash away. Alright, or I'll have to play around that. Oh god. Oh god, it's the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Okay. Okay, well. They have 1 mana up for a Stifle, but right now they are not showing me a Stifle. So much for being careful about my life total, but I need to also have Whir of Invention. Alright, to play around Wash Away, we have to use the ability. Okay, that is a tapped land. Bring it out. I cheat on commander taxi things. Tap that Dreadhorde Arcanist. How about them apples? You want some? Come get some. 100% trade. Easy. 1 less insectile aberration in this world. No commander tax for me. Oh, they're gonna burn my face to investigate. Hate that. Hate that value. Hate that. Okay. Jesus. Yeah, not getting very far this turn. Ooh. I don't think I have time for that. Good card, but I don't think this is the game. They opt-in. Bring him out. We do it again. All right, they've only got one mystery card. Does it get them through the Derevi? Why'd they fetch there? So they can Talarian Tarar. Okay, the old 5/5 ward. That's a problem. How do we deal with that? War of Invention. Right now it gets Tome of Legends, Gadwick's Tome. Neither of those are really what we're looking for. The One Ring is at 4. And it's a little ways off. They do have a Wash Away that we can play around now. If they have to spend that much mana on the Terror again, that's kind of good for us. That drops us down to... Oh, this is tough. I hate this. This is very tough. All right, I need to think longer. This will help. Like, do I want to pay up that stupid ward and have 2 mana open to make them bounce and recast the Terror? I think so, and we want to do it before they can play a Wash Away, right? Well, we also want to Tidebind this Arcanist, and when they wash that away, we need to be able to counter that. All right, I guess we have to allow it this turn. We can also chump the Terror, bring back the Derevi, tap something in the future. Could also let this happen and Iganjo the Arcanist, but they would still get the opt. They draw now in case it's a land they can play as their land for turn. And we're going to farm this Arcanist. I think we can take this 5. I hate it, but I think we can. Because then we get a Derevi double attack next turn. Apply that reverse tempo pressure. Oh, that Terror. They did find the land. Ooh! That can get a Solitude. That can get any of our 4 mana cards. Ooh. Enduring Curiosity is pretty darn good here. I think it's the Curiosity. Nothing else here is a simple solution to the problems we have. The ward is so good. But Curiosity means our counterattacks are very good. Malcolm, you want to block? That would be fine. Wash Away. We get around Wash Away. All right, well, we got their card advantage into their command zone. We can keep playing around the counterspell. It just depends what this is. And it turns out it's a Narset? Yuck.
I train every day.
I think we let that go. Getting into a counter war here is something we lose. I have to think about ticking it down, though. Okay, they're going to. No guts, no glory. They have options. And they have a deal 4 damage to a target card. How brutal. Now we can bounce that. We can bounce that, but then we don't play the Derevi. And if we bounce it, what good is that? How are we going to get rid of this Narset, though? We could also just bounce the Curiosity. But then we get punched for 5 and no pressure on the Narset. They're going to have to do that again. Tempo's the name of the game. Let's see if they're too afraid to attack. They are not too afraid to attack. I'll go to 3. I have to get rid of Narset here.
Miss your company.
Derevi comes out. I can pay the ward if I want to tap the terror. Then I can't remand. What would I remand anyway? Malcolm? Doesn't seem to matter. Yep, we're probably terror tapping. Which means this is probably getting shot by Enthusiasm, which means then Derevi has to start attacking to draw a card. So this time it resolves. Oh man, really? Bedlam Reveler. Draw 3, disgusting. I guess I have to let that be, right? If I remand this, they're just gonna play it again next turn. I can bring out the Derevi, block the terror, and then have the Derevi to play next turn. I guess that's what we do. We gotta slow him down, right? We gotta find a way. They're gonna love that. All right, Tamio.
No, I'm late for class.
Stall! Fight! Fight till the end! How much did that cost again? Yeah, it still costs like 4, right? 3 or 4. If it's 4, they can. If it's 3, they can wash away. If it's 4, reprieve is good. They go to combat. I'm not paying no wards. And there's no way to leave up a triple blue. This can make sure that they can't wash away and revel. Watch out for that decline when they tap it in response. So if I keep the Derevi, I can start drawing with curiosity. If I keep the Tameo, I get clues, but those can improvise the whir. And the Derevi is a renewable resource. Gosh, they're just waiting to draw Lightning Bolt and win the game. Oh my god, what a stupid game. What a messy game. So do they revel now that they have these cards in their hand? Instead they Malcolm? Boing. You got something for 0 there. You felt that. Might be like a subtlety. Skyclave Apparition doesn't hit terror. What a stupid card Ward can be. But at least now we can whir for 1 very simply. Do we need to play around the wash away? Whirring for Ring doesn't get us the ability. So Ring is not a good option. Tome is card draw. It does feel like we're going to need a lot of cards to get out of this. We are like an inch away. All they have to do is remove the Derevi in response. I guess we can bring it back if we have all this open mana. Yeah, we'll just pass. If they remove Derevi, and then we bring Derevi back, we'll be okay. Yep. But so we could tap the terror this time, and then if they remove Derevi, we just go to 1. Maybe now is the time. We built up our mana for this. Come at me. They do not. Haha. They have a land. Man, they're holding a counter spell. It must be really hard to discard it to have a Reveler. It must be. Plus, last time they got kind of blown out when they went for it. They've got something piling up in their hand, but what is it? Are they more counter spells? Get it? What is it? They're going to Prismari command my face. Brutal. We go to 1. Just Lightning Bolt. May be done with it. They don't. Useless Arid Mesa. God, this War of Invention is so hideous in this game. Yeah, they have Wash Away, but they have something else here too. That wouldn't hold priority right here. Okay. Shouldn't have played this. I could have played this and had another blue. All right, can they finish the job? It's got to be time. They still don't have a mountain. Revels. It was a flare of denial. They could have countered the Skyclave Apparition. I wonder why they didn't. They click me? Trust me, my hand is... Oh, you're going to take that whir? Maybe they're afraid of Paradox Engine. I mean, this could be a Winter Moon moment. They let it be. This could be a Winter Moon moment. Oh, they burst me. Okay. Yeah, nice. I mean, what could we draw? Let's at least leave up blue. Oh, we could draw Flare. Flare would be Pog. Flare, the white one. We do not draw it. So if I had cracked that clue on my turn, we could have traversed for Solitude, but we still wouldn't have the white. Yeah, they drew the Burst Lightning. They got it. Ah, good game. I messed that game up so many times. There are multiple times I should have resolved Whir and just failed. Ugh. One little change up. I cut the Whir of Invention. I added a No More Lies. Just a little change, but I just wasn't feeling the Whir. I think the One Ring thing is nice when you can do it. You just can't do it that often. Opponent goes first. It's Muxus, so not a Winter Moon battle. Tidebinder's good. Tidebinder's really good. Kami is probably 2 forests. Keep it. We gotta draw land. Surveilling might help. But we're on the draw, because we're always on the draw. So we should get there.
This is an interesting story.
Which goblin are you? Okay, they run removal in their Muxus deck. The more removal they run, the less likely they'll actually hit with their Muxus. That card is pretty good, but on its own, it's just a 2/2. I think what we should focus on here is hitting our next land. Brilliant. Do we Derevi? It's not like the counter spell is likely to hit anything, but we could also just turn this into 2 forests and be set up for the future. I think we Derevi. Derevi is a mana engine. Let's mind our life total by getting a basic. We'll untap this command tower, and then we have Ephemerate if they try to remove them. Bird Wizard in the house. Can't block. They're not going to like what happens. Oh no, it can't block. Couldn't possibly block. That would be crazy. And that was the end of the mighty goblins. Satya, Bant, and Jeskai. Green? Green. Hello. No green. What? No green. There we go. A surveil land. No turn 1 offensive threat that I'm just so used to facing from these decks. This could be a Winter Moon game, but I still think I get Breeding Pool here just to be safe. Yeah, this could definitely be a Winter Moon Harbinger of the Seas game if they fetch all shocks. Oh! Uh-huh. Yeah, that it makes things hard to interact with on your turn. That is a problem. We got to get Derevi down and just start generating mana. This is spells cast. Costs 1 more. And abilities. Good to remember the abilities part for sure. Oh, we can't Derevi here. We can... Nope, can't Nadu. This only taps for white. Smart. Smart me. We can No More Lies. Maybe that's the play. Seems smart. Yeah, you knew they were going to be one of those decks with all kinds of obnoxious crap. They're probably salty. Ramp is so good. Well, we'll definitely be able to analyze the pollen. So let's keep that and try to keep traverse for now. Gets a forest. Yeah, we do have enough white sources though. Maybe I do have to get basic. Dude, I want so badly to get them with Winter Moon. But they are about to unleash Satya. And I don't have a blue creature in hand. But Analyze the Pollen can get me one. Oh wait, Tithe Taker. Tithe Taker means I can't Subtlety anyway. Let's think. We could go get Nadu. What else could we get? I can't think of something that keeps Satya from coming into play. Harbinger of the Seas. Oh. Oh. And then I have... Oh. Let's do it. Why not? Let's absolutely clown their mana. Hi. All your fancies. Okay. Scrawling Crawler, that's a card draw. They didn't have the land anyway. And we draw the basic like a boss. No subtlety yet, but yeah, let's bring it out. Player Signet. Let's go get something. Nadu, I think. Nadukin. A little extra draw here. Ooh, a Neoform on top of that. They're gonna yoink Derevi? Okay, let's see. I can go get my own Stormdrake. I need a 1 mana creature to do it. Draw, hurts. Bloom Tendies. How do I get back my Derevi? I could turn this into a Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the Drake. I can do better. If I turn it into a treasure, that doesn't help me because they just never sacrifice it. Yep, it has to be you. Do the command. We can also pay for the subtlety if we're willing to exile the Nadu. Unlikely, I'll say. Satya? What does Satya even do here? Oh yeah, no red. must be tough. They did draw a basic. That must feel kind of good. Decks like these are interesting because it's like a creature game and it does slow down to some extent. Oh, name Derevi. Do it. I dare you to name Derevi. I dare you to name Derevi. But yeah, the games get a little slower. The decisions get more complicated. They name Subtlety. I guess they sussed it out with the stick, right? They copy the Skyclave with a Mockingbird to hit the Bloom Tender because they know the mana production is going to be insane. Draw. And ouch. Life total tick down. I mean, do we combat them? See what they do. They don't want to take it. They get Derevi'd for that. Okay. Now I got some mana. Hadouken? What if they just remove it? I don't have a ton of ways to protect everything anyway. Hadouken! When it works, it works. And it's not like it's all we have in the whole game. We have other lines to get a lot of value, but Nadu's just the best one. And even removing it often makes them trigger it. And while they're tied down to Harbinger of the Seas, it shouldn't be that easy. Oh, it's easy. Easy. All right. Exiled. Must be nice. As I continue to get run over by the crawler. God, the flare was right there. But we can continue to assault them. Now our cards tap for mana. That's pretty good. That is pretty darn good. And there's a Neo form down there, so think about all the things we could get. We can get an Enduring Curiosity, so that all of our stuff draws cards too. Snapcast. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Who wants some? I get some double blocks. Yeah, they're gonna have to start blocking away their board. They want to keep their Tithe Taker though. They really, like, it doesn't matter. I'm kind of tapped out here. But if I do have 1 mana after this, yeah, they're gonna take it. Wow. Okay, so triggers. If I have 1 mana here, and I will, I just have to untap some creature. Derevi, I guess. Then I can Flare of Fortitude. Cameo. Ah. Can also go get a land. And I just need it to be any color. Let's go get a green. Because I want to be able to pay the 1 on their turn and sack Derevi. Brazen B. 11 to 13. Another island enters the battlefield. Silent Hall Creeper, sure. Deputy of Detention. What is the target? Enduring Curiosity, probably? They go for Derevi. Well, Derevi's what I would have sacked anyway. Leave it alone. Leave my life total alone, too. No attaxies. It's a little silly, don't you think? I don't think I need blue. I'll take white. Board is definitely getting gummed up and complicated here. There's a double block. Once we get to jumping, we're doing good. They're trying to race me with this Scrawling Crawler. I think at this point I can bounce that if I want to. Okay, nothing's doing damage to face, so we don't have to pop out Derevi now. So much mana. This Tamiyo could freeze the Apparition and the Deputy. That's pretty good.
us see if your talents are worth cataloging.
Let's try to make them block with some of these.
Study yields
And then
enlightenment.
we've got 4 mana, but we want to be able to pay extra on their turn. And we want to be able to bring out Derevi. And we can do that. I guess we can't bring out Derevi. Exclusion Mage, okay? Target. The Harbinger of the Seas. I will obstruct that. You will not free yourself, but I will go to 8. You can kill the Tameo, but we have a good counterattack. This is a close one, man. That's an island. They go face. Okay, they're going to try to kill me. I've got to kill them. They're at 13. Let's start with blue, green. Let's not take more damage from the crawler. You don't untap. You tap and don't untap. You tap, don't untap.
Our time together is finished.
Freeze those.
New data is
And without the
always
crawler now, hitting them lets us draw plenty of cards. Let's bring out Derevi. Can untap here. And by untapping themselves, we also get mana. Three life is not much, though. Gotta be a little careful. We can hold up Subtlety, which we can play through the curse with all this mana. Can also play a Brazen Borrow. Let's just pass. Don't need a tap land anytime soon. I think we got this. It's been shaky, but I think we got this. We go for the crawler. Think we just try to force the subtlety, but we have to be careful not to be attacked for 3. So I think we just evoke the subtlety, exiling the storm, the Drake, trigger the curse. That scrawling crawler almost got us. Like, respect to that card. Not a meme. But do they have a lightning bolt? They do not. Woo. Good game. Wow. The Mesa Falcon of the day is Mighty Java Bean. Mighty Java Bean, you're cool. Welcome back. Post-game wraps. Derevi can be built in a number of ways, and I've actually done some edits. The deck list that you'll see linked in description is this list, but I've already done some other edits to the deck, and I can't stop building Derevi. I've built it as an all birds deck. I've built it as a control deck, a tempo deck, and even a kind of Curious Obsession aggro deck. And this is where I'm at now, with the curve getting even lower and getting even more aggressive in the early game, even more removal in the form of like Humiliation, Path to Exile to hold the opponent off, and cards like Key to the Archive that weren't in the other version that you can tap and untap, going away from like the hard, like too many basics plan, and just trusting Derevi to untap our lands during Winter Moon type seasons. But really, there's a lot of ways to build this deck. It is so crazy good. You can see I also added Mentor's Guidance, the Alchemy version, and Sheltered by Ghosts are both really good cards and for a deck like this. But if you have a creature deck that can also generate a lot of mana and tempo all on its own, just make sure you don't run out of cards. That's my big advice. Make sure that you're drawing a good number of cards or ending the game reasonably quickly. Derevi is a lot of fun. This card is obnoxious to play against, but is incredibly efficient in a number of ways. And whether you want to build Bird Tribal, Curious Obsession Derevi, or full-on control board wipe Derevi, I'm sure that you can find a way to have fun. So high recommendation to craft this card and put a lot of your favorite green, white, and blue cards in the deck and just experience the joy of twiddling everything in sight. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next one. You're cool.